William Colby has been missing since April 27th. His canoe was found washed up on the banks of the Wicomico River, April 28th.
My father was a soldier. He jumped out of airplanes. He lived to serve. People would turn to me and say, you know, your dad was a murderer. My immediate reaction used to be, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I'd find myself thinking, was he? Well, who was he really? That's the story of the movie, is was he who he pretended to be, or was that really him? In the family, we sometimes think maybe we were just the cover. We don't like to think this, but just pretend. And we were the cover and he was the gray man. But I couldn't end this way. I had to go further. And it was a painful process, really, but because he's very good at being like a ghost. He knew how to operate that way. He liked to listen. He would be the last person you would remember at tonight's party, but he would remember you, everything you said. And many people don't listen. They just talk. And he's from this, like a different era almost. And Americans are usually not very good at spying. They talk too much. They are not secretive. But I think he had a special talent for this. And so who is he? I think he was heroic, but he was also a man who changed with the times. I think he saw that there had to be a new honesty, a new openness, and revealing what he called bad secrets, terrible things that had happened. And he believed in the American people and the law. But to this day, there are people who he is a traitor.
I am against assassination. I think it's counterproductive, and I've issued directives against it.
By the time I got there in 1969, it felt much more like an assassination program.
Current investigations could uncover several assassinations of which the CIA was involved.
Yes, there were abuses. There was no doubt about it. They really got out of hand.
I discovered that that some people had very conflicting opinions of him. Some people thought my father committed suicide. Some people think my father was wrong, was tortured, that he completely had the weight of Vietnam and my sister, and he said all this to Congress because he was guilty. And other people say he was liberated by saying this. So you have this tabula rasa, you know, you're not sure. And he was very good at, like I say, dressing the part and not letting you in on the secret.
As one person to make the determination that you do not trust 435 members, each of whom won an open election in ostensibly a democratic society, I would say to you, sir, you don't have the right to play God.
How many files of this character do you maintain on other members of Congress?
Do you know what documents he destroyed?
Don't you think that's an exceedingly loose way to run an agency, particularly the CIA?
So it's very hard to get at the point, but I think he was, in the end, the person who took on the toughest, dirtiest assignments given to anyone, and he did them until he was asked to lie to the Congress and for Nixon and he couldn't do it. He would have been a broken person. So he believed in the law and he was shunned, like a lamb sacrificed. But I think he knew that.
The CIA and its director was always caught between doing the wish of the president and the law. And when the president said, do this, do that, the law got set aside normally.
He would be very good, let's say, if he was here tonight sitting here, he would talk about Damascus and Tehran and what is going on in Gaza Strip and be very interesting. But if I asked him something personal about the family, he would say, that's your departamento. Amici, amico. His words would be, that's your department. As if I had some special insight into the emotions. He didn't go there, so it would be fruitless. But then I thought, well, I'll start. I'll do something about his world and this world of counterinsurgency and different wars that are going on. And then I interviewed my mother almost as an afterthought. Oh, maybe she'll have something to say. And she was so good, she made the movie about this morality tale, which is really what it is.
The family wasn't always let into this world of his. He never had to really tell me anything.
Well, I was afraid in a way. I mean, my producer, my editor, well, your father is a war criminal, basically. So, and I said, if he's a war criminal, there's no story. If I think he's just this, but if I have questions, then there's a story. So I wondered sometimes to have no conclusion about him. But I want you to think also, what do you think about this Vietnam War? Or what do you think about CIA in Italy? I asked a woman today, as an Italian woman, what do you think about this period? She said, I said, what do you feel? She said, I feel rage. Interesting. She said, an opportunity was stolen from us. She said, I feel like Chile, fascinating. But her husband said, well, we would have maybe been Hungary. We could have been like Yugoslavia. Maybe it would have gone badly. It was very interesting. But I understand the impulse. Americans can be they project power. But their country was never ravaged. Once, Civil War. Americans are not like Rome, città aperta, or we haven't suffered as much. My father lived in a world of secrets, always watching, listening, his eye on the door. By the time I turned 30, I came to understand the man that nobody knew. Or at least I thought I did. The way I grew up is more, we were close, but not, if I'd really wanted to be close to him, I would have worked for him and not been his son. You had that feeling. I don't know who your parents are, but some men or some women they're very preoccupied. He was very nice, but I could be talking to him and he's a million miles away. His eyes are looking at me, but they're in Vietnam or they're in Syria, somewhere different. It's like something is going on.